The programming assignment has 5 different exercises because inheritance is something that is really important for you to understand. Everything that you're going to be doing is similar to examples that are in the lecture demo. And for this first one, you are going to be using an animal class as a base, and you're going to be deriving a new class. It's very similar to this example. Okay, but don't copy this example because here is what you're going to start with. So this is what you need to copy. Okay, and you're going to create a new application called Simple Inheritance. Okay, and you'll notice that in the animal class, we have one field called name, and it is public. We have a little constructor, parameterized constructor, and a display. I have commented where you're going to be putting your derived class, and it's going to go above the program class. And then in your main method, I have created an object of the base. You are going to create an object of your derived class using the default constructor, and then you're going to also do an object using the parameterized constructor. So the requirements here, I'm going to create a new class that is derived from the animal class, similar to how the dog class was derived. You need at least 3 public fields in your new class, and they can be what you want. You're going to add a default constructor to your new class and a parameterized constructor. You need to create a method to display the fields. It can be one method that displays everything, or you might choose to do, a method for each of your fields. It's totally up to you how you put that together. In the main method, I already showed you, you have to create a couple objects. The object that you create using the default constructor, you are going to have to populate it with data, similar to what we did here with name. So you'll have name from the animal class, and then you'll have 3 additional fields that you're going to have to put data in. Okay, and then you're going to want to display that data to the console. For the parameterized constructor, you are going to be passing the data to the constructor. So your fields will have data in them. So all you really have to do then is display it. And so I did do a little example. So I'm an animal. My name is Sparky. That is coming from here. Okay. And so then I decided my derived class was going to be a llama. So this is, and I added color, height, and weight as my fields. And so this is an example of the output. Okay. And there are lots of examples besides the one that I have linked to. So hopefully you guys don't have any trouble with this, because what you're going to be doing is very similar to this example. Now you're going to keep this open because you are going to modify it a little bit in exercise 2. So in exercise 2, you're going to add another derived class from animal. So this is kind of similar to the dog and cat that were derived from animal. Okay. Um, so your second class that you're deriving from the animal class, you could actually take everything in your dog, copy it, and change the name. Okay. If you wanted to. You need at least 3 public fields. You need the default constructor and the parameterized constructor. And you need methods that will display the data in your fields. So the requirements here are the same as they were for dog or for whatever you did before. I used llama, so the requirements for this second derived class are the same as the requirements for my llama class. Then in the main method, I'm going to create an object from my derived class using the default constructor. I'm going to add data to all the fields, and then I'm going to display it. And then I'm going to do a second object in my new derived class using the parameterized constructor, and I'm going to display the data. So I have my llama in there already, and I decided that my second animal would be a platypus. And so instead of color, height, and weight, I did age, height, and weight. And you can see this one is the one where I had to add the data. I used the default constructor. And then this is the printout from the parameterized constructor. Okay, so once you have this, you will push it up to GitHub and add a link to your repository to our Dropbox. Exercise 3 is very similar. In fact, the top looks identical to an example that is in our lecture demo, where we've got our base with 3 different access methods. And for the private and protected, I did get and set methods. And you are going to derive a new class from animal. And so here is the link to the one that is similar. You can see I derived dog from animal. And your new class needs to have at least 3 fields. You decide if they should be private, public, or protected, and you need to create the appropriate methods. Okay. And so you're going to need get and set if you decide private or protected. You need to override get name and get type. Okay, so we've got get name and get type up here. You are going to override them. You'll notice that they are virtual, allowing for overriding. And that is similar to the example. And then in the main method, you're going to create an object from the base. You're going to populate it with data, and you're going to display the data. And then you're going to create an object from the derived class, populate it with data, and display the data. Okay, so I've got my animal information, and then I've got horse is the class that I derived. So you're going to do something similar, and once you've got it working, you will push it up to GitHub. The last 2 exercises are like the last example where we have manager and employee. So exercise 4, you're going to do private multiple objects. And this is exactly like what I did here with employees and manager. The difference is obviously your class cannot be employees and the derived class is not going to be manager. You decide what the base and the derived class should be. If you're looking for ideas, you could use club as a base. And if you use club, it's kind of endless what you can derive. You could do a gaming club, a running club, a curling club, whatever it is that you want as the derived class. Your base needs to have 3 private fields. You need a default and a parameterized constructor. You need get and set methods for all of your fields. You need an add change method and a display method that are virtual, just like the example. Okay, so you need 3 fields. You decide what they are in your base. And then you need to kind of build out the constructors, the get set methods, the add change, and the print. For your derived class, you need at least 2 private fields, and you're going to have a default and a parameterized constructor. And you do need to make sure that they pass information along to the base. You should create get and set methods for those 2 new fields. And then you're going to use create an add change and a display method that will override the base class method. And you should call the base methods similar to the way I did it here. Then in your main method, I would set it up just like the example where you have an array of base class objects and an array of derived class objects. Let the user figure out how many they want to enter, and then let the users add, change, or display data from either the base or the derived class. I would do it the exact same way the employee and manager class is done. And then once you have the program working correctly, save all your changes and push it up to the repository. The last exercise, you are converting the private fields to protected. So you're modifying the base field access methods and the derived class access methods, and then adjust any class methods as needed, which means that, you can get rid of all the get and set if you want, or you can leave them there. Okay, so I'm leaving this up to you. Okay. The main method should not change, only the two classes. Okay, and if you want to do it like the examples, you can compare. However, you don't have to change all of the methods. Okay, if all you want to do is change these to protected and change these to protected, that is okay. You can do that. Okay, so I'm kind of leaving this up to you, but you are going to push this up to GitHub as well.